Welcome to today's Explainer. We're just going to slice straight through the incredibly noisy and, frankly, ridiculously expensive world of modern biohacking today. I mean, if you spent more than 5 minutes online recently, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've probably been bombarded with ads for obscure supplements, freezing tanks, and lasers that literally promise to make you live forever. Well, today we're ranking all of it. We're basing this on actual medical science and real evidence to separate the genuine longevity drivers from, the utter nonsense.
So, what actually works for longevity, and what is just an expensive distraction? That is the million-dollar question we're answering today. We are going on a total hype versus hardware journey here. We're going to start all the way down in the F-tier dumpster fires, work our way through the marginally effective distractions, and then climb all the way up to the S-tier foundation. Because, as you'll see, our main goal today is to uncover exactly why the S-tier is the absolute undisputed champion of human longevity and why literally everything else is just background noise.
All right, let's start at the absolute bottom, the F tier. These are the net negative, incredibly risky, or just straight-up clown shows. A good rule of thumb? If a shirtless influencer named Skylar swears by it, you should probably just turn and run. First up, we've got SARMs. These are synthetic drugs designed to mimic steroids. They completely tank your natural hormones, punch your liver right in the face, and yeah, they're entirely illegal. Then there's high-dose methylene blue IVs. Look, this is a legitimate hospital drug used for turning people blue in the ER, but taken recreationally, it can actually cause the breakdown of your red blood cells or even fatal serotonin syndrome. No thanks. And finally, testicle tanning. Shining red or UV light down there are zero hormonal benefits, a very real risk of skin cancer, and, well, maybe just go lift some weights instead.
To put it bluntly, it's like taking steroids, but with the safety standards of gas station sushi. That perfectly sums up the completely absurd risk-to-reward ratio of these bottom-tier hacks, especially stuff like SARMs. You might gain a little muscle in the short term, sure, but you are actively taking years off your life. There is absolutely no long-term safety data for this stuff. Just stay away.
Okay, moving up slightly to the D tier. Now, these aren't necessarily harmful, but they are scientifically held together with duct tape and marketing optimism. Take mouth taping, right? Taping your mouth shut to force nasal breathing at night. For most people, it's risky and honestly exactly how horror movies start. Then there's brain-tapping headsets. Look, your brain deserves a lot better than a Bluetooth back massage for your skull. And don't get me started on those massive mega supplement stacks where you're taking, 30 pills a morning? It's literally like loading a musket just to create very, very expensive urine.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how stem cell therapy is framed in the anti-aging space. Think about it. If stem cells really fixed aging, Jeff Bezos would already be 18. Stem cells are absolutely incredible for specific medical treatments, like fighting cancer. But when they're sold by anti-aging clinics for full-body regeneration, you are mostly just injecting hope. There's a whole lot of money to be made here, but trust me, it is not the fountain of youth.
All right, moving right along into our C and B tiers. These offer some mild mood benefits or, cool vibes, but they absolutely aren't going to rewrite your biology. Take grounding, basically walking barefoot to absorb the Earth's electrons. It's kind of like charging yourself with USB grass. It feels nice, but the science? Pretty weak. Cryotherapy? You're basically paying $60 to stand in the Whole Foods freezer aisle. Float tanks are genuinely great for stress, but essentially, it's a sensory-deprived womb that charges you $89 an hour. And mitochondrial stacks? They're helpful, sure, but think of them as biological WD-40 for your cells. They are not nitrous oxide for your car. Now, wearables like Oura Rings or Whoop straps, they sit solidly right here in the B tier. Don't get me wrong, they are incredible for tracking things like sleep, stress, and your heart rate, but they don't actually boost your health directly. They boost awareness. If you just stare at the data on your app and don't actually change your lifestyle, the device is totally useless. It won't fix your sleep, but it will absolutely, however, judge you constantly and give you a terrible score every morning.
And this brings us to a really crucial bridge out of these lower tiers: testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT. Now, when it's medically needed, TRT is genuinely life-changing, but lately it's been heavily marketed as this magic pill for guys who actually just have terrible lifestyle habits. Listen, if you jump straight to TRT without fixing your sleep, putting down the alcohol, lifting some weights, and, losing the gut, it's just roids for the wrong guy. You absolutely have to fix the root cause first.
Moving on to the A tier. Actually effective, with real measurable improvements.
We have finally arrived at the strategies with actual, undeniable scientific backing. These aren't fads, guys. These are interventions that provide real, measurable improvements to your biology and can actively extend your health span. And just look at this number. It is absolutely staggering. 50%.
Studies out of Finland have actually correlated traditional sauna use with a massive 50% decrease in cardiovascular risk, right alongside a 40% decrease in all-cause mortality. Let me put that into perspective. If this were a pill, every single doctor in the world would prescribe it, and the FDA would literally throw a parade.
So how do you actually get those benefits? Well, the exact protocol correlated with these amazing results is using a traditional dry sauna at about 175 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes, roughly 5 times a week. But here is the real secret. It doesn't actually matter if it's a dry sauna, infrared, steam, or even a really hot tub. The main biological goal here is simply to induce a small fever and make your heart race, kind of like you're doing passive cardio.
Also sitting here in the A tier are GLP-1 medications like semaglutide. But, and this is a massive asterisk here, the context matters. For people dealing with obesity or type 2 diabetes, these drugs are absolute A-tier miracles. They offer real, tangible survival and metabolic benefits. But for healthy people who are just trying to lose like 8 pounds for vanity, it's a huge F-tier mistake. It can strip away your lean muscle mass and artificially slow your digestion to fix a problem you don't even really have. Honestly, taking it for vanity is kind of like undergoing chemo for a pimple.
And now, the S tier, the longevity baseline, the 100,000-year hardware.
Okay, let's dive right into this. This is the absolute climax of our explainer, the S tier. This is the core focus of our entire journey today, understanding exactly why the S tier just flat out wins the longevity game. These right here are the non-negotiables. If you master these, I guarantee you will outlive the guy taking 47 expensive supplements a day. Because this is the 100,000-year-old hardware our bodies were literally designed to run on. And at the very top of the S tier, sleep optimization. We're talking 7 to 9 hours of high-quality sleep with consistent bed and wake times. Your bedroom should be cool, dark, and silent. Oh, and you need morning sunlight to set that internal clock. Make no mistake, sleep is the single strongest longevity lever humanity has ever found. Think of it as your body's rigorous performance review conducted every single night.
Because look, if you skip sleep, you age faster than milk in the Florida sun. If you don't prioritize this foundational S-tier habit, your body will eventually just unionize against you. It's that simple. You simply cannot out-supplement a chronic lack of sleep. It is the #1, most absolutely crucial thing you can do for your health, bar none.
Next up in the S tier, we've got strength training. And listen, muscle mass isn't just for looking good at the beach. It literally predicts how long you live. The science shows us very clearly, strong people simply die less. Having more muscle means you have a much lower chance of injury and a vastly better chance of recovering from illnesses when you do get sick. Building muscle through regular resistance training is quite literally your physical armor against aging.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. 8,000 plus steps a day. Regular, low-intensity movement shows massive, sweeping reductions in heart disease and metabolic dysfunction across hundreds of thousands of people studied. Walking is the ultimate low-intensity cheat code for human biology. I mean, it outperforms any magic pill on the market today. The reality is, we simply sit way too much. So the S-tier solution is incredibly simple. Just move more.
When it comes to nutrition, the S tier wins because it aligns perfectly with our evolution. Eating a diet high in protein and whole, natural foods controls your blood sugar and keeps inflammation down. And the rule for this is so simple. If it walked, swam, flew, or grew, eat it. Try to stick to the outside perimeter of the grocery store. If you pick something up, read the ingredient list, and it looks like a high school chemistry exam, or if it came out of a factory in a cardboard box with a barcode, just put it back on the shelf.
We also have to talk about sunlight and your circadian rhythm. Look, humans lived outdoors, in tandem with the sun for millions of years. Spending your entire life under fluorescent lights in a cubicle does not change our deep biological need for morning light. Sunlight directly regulates your mood, your hormones, your metabolism, and your immunity. Remember, you are a human being, not a mushroom. You gotta get outside.
Now, stress regulation is heavily overlooked, but it is firmly planted in the S tier. Chronic, unmanaged stress literally ages you from the inside out, and it can often take more years off your life than smoking cigarettes. You absolutely have to manage your nervous system. You deserve 5 to 10 minutes of pure calm daily. And hey, even if you have to pretend you are using the bathroom for 20 minutes just to get away from everything and take a few deep breaths, do it. It is S tier essential.
Finally, we reach the deepest S tier lever of them all. The human tribe, and finding your purpose. Having meaningful relationships, a strong community of support, and a clear mission in life are actually among the strongest biomarkers we have for outliving disease. We were built to live in tribes, to share our joys and our sorrows, and to wake up driven by a genuine purpose. People with a strong why mathematically live longer, even when researchers control for chronic diseases.
So the crucial point I want to make is this. Why exactly does the S tier win longevity every single time? Because it is our evolutionary baseline. The S tier hasn't changed in 100,000 years. All those freezing tanks, the intravenous strips, the mega supplement stacks, they're just sprinkles on the cupcake. They are completely optional, and they can never, ever replace a solid, unshakable foundation of sleep, strength, sunlight, and genuine human connection. I'll leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. Take a hard look at your own daily routines. Are you spending your valuable time and hard-earned money chasing expensive, unproven distractions? Or are you actually doing the real, 100,000-year-old work to build an unbreakable S-tier foundation? Start right there with the foundation, and I promise you, your body will take care of the rest.